What does healing diastasis recti mean? When I ask women, mainly after birth, but not only, what are their goals, they often say to close the gap. But when I push them further and I say, so what do you really want to do? What will that lead to if you close the gap? They invariably say that they want to wear clothes that they particularly want to wear. They don't want to be embarrassed being naked in front of their partner. They want self-confidence. They want to lift whatever they want to lift. And does this have anything to do with the gap, that number, how wide that gap is? Let's look at the incidence postpartum of diastasis recti, and this is according to research. So while most, if not all, women during pregnancy in the third trimester develop diastasis recti, I spoke previously in my stories about how this is not a pathology, it's an adaptation to pregnancy. So after birth, what's happening in that first year, again from research, at 6 weeks, 60% of women have diastasis recti, at 6 months, 45%, and at 12 months, 32% of women have diastasis recti, which shows us that there is normal physiological closing of the gap within that first year. What happens after that first year? That's the big question. And that depends on so many factors. It depends on your genetics. What is the state of your collagen tissue in your connective tissues? How much sleep are you getting? How much stress are you under? What is your nutrition? How much visceral fat or abdominal fat do you have that's putting pressure on the abdominal wall? So there are so many factors, but regarding exercise, there was an important research paper that was published exactly a year ago in June 2023, and this was the conclusion. It was a meta-analysis of 16 studies. This is the conclusion of that meta-analysis. Current conservative interventions, including abdominal strengthening exercises, do not lead to clinically significant reduction in IRD, that's the interrecti distance, the gap, in the postpartum period, but may have other important physical and psychosocial benefits. So what does this mean, and what does it mean for us regarding exercise and how successful that will be? So I have had a woman, a client, who was in the first year after giving birth to twins after a cesarean section, and she came to me with an 8-finger gap. And after a few months of hard work, she did close the gap to the point that she does not have diastasis recti. I'm bringing up this specific example because 8 fingers, an 8-finger gap, is often considered a no-brainer for surgery. And here she doesn't have diastasis recti anymore, and that was without surgery. And over the 38 plus years that I've been working with women and men with diastasis recti, there have been other stories like this, 4 fingers gap, 6 fingers gap. Some have closed it, some have not closed it, but in almost every case, in terms of their perception, they have healed their diastasis. That's going to happen with some women, and with other women, it may not, but in almost all women who are consistent with the program of not only exercising, but also looking at her daily body patterns and body habits, because that's what she's doing regarding exercise. Even if she's consistent, exercising 4 to 6 times a week, half an hour a day, that's the rest of her day. How is she standing? How is she breathing? How much pressure is there on the abdominal wall in these daily habits and in these daily activities? And that is really critical. But in almost all these cases, the women's circumference of the abdomen has gotten substantially smaller. Her clothes size is smaller. She feels a lot more confident. she doesn't have back pain, she's able to lift what she wants to lift, and she's able to continue to progressively strengthen her core in order to do whatever it is she wants to do. So I think we really, really need to drop this number and not stop focusing on the gap. It's how much tension can she generate in her connective tissue so that she can progressively increase the load and develop strength and function. And as a result, she's going to look better and be more confident and feel good in her body.